Greetings and welcome back to another bean-tastic episode of the Vodkast. I'm your host, as always, Beanie McBeanerson. With us today is the Dr. Pepper Sweet and a little bit sassy beans. These are baked beans. They are in a can. We're going to heat them up. We're going to try them. But I thought maybe we'd try them cold first and smell them. Maybe they'll be better cold. You know, a lot of cowboys out on the prairie, you know, that's what they bring with them is just a can of beans, and they'll cook it over the fire. But if you don't have a fire, can't start a fire that day, you're eating them cold, my friend. I've put a little bit of thought into these beans, the idea of these beans. Now, they sound delicious to me. I love Dr. Pepper. I love baked beans. However, if I was at a picnic and I had a cup of Dr. Pepper or a can or a bottle, doesn't matter what it is, and I had baked beans and I accidentally spilt it on my beans, I don't know if I'd go out of my way to finish those beans or if I would just, you know, eat them. Like, maybe it's good. Maybe this is something we're all missing. I mean, how does this work? Is it like just baked beans and somebody dumped Dr. Pepper in here? Or did they take the 23 flavors of Dr. Pepper and cram them into a bean form? Let's bust into this and give it a first smell. And as I do, I want to explain something to you. This is the only can of this that I could find on the shelf at Big Lots. It was $1.99. I searched high and low because I was really nervous about the fact that, you know, there's one can. It's pretty dented, but I did the old pop test. Seems to be okay. We're just going to throw that in the trash. Here's a spoon. They smell like a sweet and tangy bean. You know, if you've ever busted, there's the different types of beans. My personal favorite is the bourbon barbecue baked beans. Beans. My personal favorite of all the baked beans is the Steakhouse. I'm not sure which company makes it. I'll put a picture up here or something so you can take a look. Yeah, it's definitely got more of a tang rather than like some of them are like bourbon or sweet or honey, brown sugar. You get a lot of that stuff and you get the sweetness to it. But this is definitely more on the edgier, the tangier side of things. So I'm going to try it cold. Why not? We're here. They did integrate it into the bean. The sauce isn't very Dr. Peppery, but the beans themselves, because I was really worried. I was tasting the juice in my mouth, and I was like, that doesn't really taste like it. And I bit into a bean, and holy hell, it's like a little Dr. Pepper bean just blew up in my mouth. It's really, it's interesting. I'm going to try it heated up. So you guys wait for me here. I'll be right back. And after about 90 seconds in the microwave, we have ourselves a hot bowl of beans. So I'm going to stir them up a little bit so I don't hurt my little mouth. And give them a whirl here. Hot beans. I almost choked to death on a bean. I can say one thing, they're a lot better warmer than they are cold. They're not bad. They're tasty. They're different. They are definitely not your typical baked beans. If you're into baked beans and you're looking for a new bean to try, I highly recommend the Dr. Pepper Sweet and a Bit Sassy beans. It's different. I don't know if you'll love it or hate it. It's definitely not typical of what you're expecting when you're eating a bean. With that, I am going to give them a 7. They're tasty. They're good. Will I have them again? I don't know if I'll ever find another can. That might have been the only can in existence as far as I know. And the nice thing about the can is afterwards you can turn it into a pencil holder. It's like recycling, only different. Or maybe, no, it's just like recycling. Yeah, they're tasty. They're tangy. They got a bit of a lot of sweetness inside the bean that comes from the Dr. Pepper flavor. A lot of that sweet, a lot of the sassy rather, that comes from the juices that are surrounding the beans. Well, whether you're down with the bean or not down with the bean, I really hope you enjoyed this episode of the Vodkast. I really loved making it. And if you guys are loving the content that I'm creating as much as I love creating the content that you guys watching, would you please consider liking, commenting, subscribing, sharing, and then hit the little bell icon because it'll let you know every time I put out a new video. Don't forget to make somebody smile today and make yourself a better person tomorrow than you were today. Tomorrow, let's make the world spin a little bit happier and a little bit beanier. Together, let's sing and dance, and the sun and the rain is one, my brothers and sisters. Live life to the fullest and love every moment of it, because you just never know when that last moment's going to come for you. However, never live in fear of that moment. Always live in love, and never let your inner child die. Take care of yourselves, take care of one another, and take care of those around you who cannot take care of themselves, for they are the ones that need it the most. And if no one has told you today that they love you, the Vodcast loves you very much, just the way you are. All right, guys, do no harm. I'm Geycen Oliveira. This is the Vodcast, and I'll catch you guys a little bit further on down the road. Take care, my friends.
Don't go to sleep with a catch it in your pocket.